Hello everyone, Fraczon here once again, and today we have another interesting game with the Tier 4 Isokaze Japanese destroyer. So a little bit of peculiarity of this match. I actually only recorded basically half of it, let's say the only half that counts, because basically in the first half it was only about positioning and I really didn't even fire one shot to that point. So this is just make a really brief introduction, since when the actual gameplay then starts I will not really be able to have the time to make a proper introduction, since I will be like directly in the action. So having done this brief introduction, I do hope you enjoy the game.
Alright, so here we go, already directly into the action, and as you can see I'm exactly down in the lower part of the map, and I'm actually skulking around hoping to find the enemy. So here I was seeing there's a battleship rather far away, wasn't really worried by that, and I start seeing it very close to at 6 kilometers, and I'm like, I need to kill this guy, absolutely, there's no way here. I think I'm definitely going to hit him, but I miss by a mile, so I'm like, never mind, I'll circle behind the island. I'll get him eventually, it's not going to be much of an issue, just checking my surroundings, just standard stuff. So I'm like, oh, I have time to plan my attack. And then, hello, surprise! The destroyer just right in front of me, and here I dump all my torpedoes. And to be honest, I utterly fail and miss all of them. I think that I should have been more cautious in that situation. Instead of firing all of them, I should have taken my time. But you know, when you're directly in the heat of the action, you don't always have the ability to make such split-second decisions. And I'm not so familiar with destroyers. So here I'm at top position, I decide to pop my smoke, the high speed. I see somebody's firing to try to help me, and I'm definitely thinking the next salvo or torpedoes I really don't want to miss, and I see still so close, so I'm just like literally counting the seconds. And here for some reason I decide to shoot, although it would have been maybe smarter just to spam my torpedoes. But instead I think, well, he's so close that I will definitely have the chance to spot him and fire on him, since I must say that surprisingly enough the Isokaze actually has relatively high hitting guns for being, let's say, such a small ship. I mean, I've 2k people, sometimes even 2.5k. I mean, that's a considerable amount considering that the other Clemson destroyer here is only 10k. So I see him getting away, but as he gets away, there's another destroyer yet getting away. So I'm actually I'm trying to hit him, and at the same time I'm also trying to figure out how the hell am I going to kill both at the same time. So I start by trying to fire at this. I realize it's going to be futile because the island is coming up. So I'm like, whatever. There are torpedoes that I did not spam before. I will spam them now, and let's just hope something is gonna hit. Because I see him is like he's getting further and further away. He's basically going out of range of my torpedoes. So I'm thinking, well, with two destroyers like near here, I might as well maybe try to camp here and maybe just wait for the unsuspecting destroyer to cross, and then I will then spam the torpedoes out of him, similarly to how the video began, where it had such close encounter. I thought, well, maybe if I get a second chance, I will learn from my mistake. So here I'm like very surprised, because I really did not think that the torpedoes I had spammed before would actually hit the target. So I'm feeling very content, feeling very optimistic, since right in front of me I have two battleships, the Wyoming and the Miyogi, and I think they're actually really good targets considering I'm a destroyer. I'm still a bit wary because one of the two destroyers I had seen before is still alive, and you can see it here on my right hand side at about 7.4 kilometers. But at that point I really don't care anymore. So I'm just thinking of trying to make a sort of inescapable pattern of torpedoes, out of which this Wyoming will not be able to escape. And I'm thinking that I have no reason to close in on it just yet, since my reload is still at full, so I still have 25 seconds. So I'm like, I might as well go in a circle, avoid detection, and then if need be, I'll go in for a second, let's say, turn. And here I'm very disappointed to see that all my torpedoes did miss. My seemingly inescapable net was anything but inescapable. And so I'm pondering, I really need to make these next torpedoes hit. because you really don't get that many chances of firing torpedoes without getting protected. Or most generally, it's a matter of you having only a certain number of occasions for sinking enemy ships. So I'm like, whatever. I'll fire also my ordinary guns, and we'll see what happens. I get a measly 660 damage, but hey, what do you expect? These, after all, are HE shells. So I basically turned my back on what's happening there. I just... and that was a really good hit, by the way, that did a lot of damage. So I'm thinking I need to try and sink this destroyer. Like, by the time I get around the island, maybe I'll have another shot at that Wyoming, but for now I'm just gonna wait. So apparently my torpedoes don't do anything to that Wyoming, so once again I'm not thrilled by the prospect. I must have gotten, let's say, the leading times completely wrong. So I'm starting to think this is not going to be a good game, I'm afraid, and I still have a lot to learn. But never mind, now I'm too distracted. I need to take on this other Japanese destroyer, and I'm really hoping these torpedoes will be good enough. In my mind, I kind of think that they are not leading enough, but I thought that the window of opportunity was so scant that I thought I really had to take a chance. Here I realized that torpedoes are never gonna hit, and just the ways you go for it, I am always thinking, well, you learn from your mistakes. Hopefully today's miss is tomorrow's hit. So seeing that the story is apparently, say, walking around the island, navigating around the island, and I had, let's say, a cruiser in support back there, the San Luis. I think the San Luis could have easily taken care of that destroyer. So given that I'm specialized in trying to sink battleships, even though given my my misses before, you wouldn't think so, I decided to hunt the Wyoming. And here I'm a bit in a conundrum. I'm considering, let's say, doubling around the island and catching the Wyoming by surprise. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to double around the island, maybe I might spam torpedoes, and I think, well, maybe not. I'd rather have them available on more manageable targets like this Niobe right here. And so here I spam my torpedoes. I'm thinking this could well be, I think I've been leading correctly before. I think I've been rather very cautious with me leading torpedoes, and I think there I might have gotten the correct measure finally. And so now I'm seeing fire coming in. I'm actually very lucky to being able to avoid them. I only have one torpedo available, and I'm happy to see that something hit the Miyogi. Two hits to the Miyogi, double flooding, that's excellent. I do spam the Wyoming. Apparently the torpedoes see that they may be hitting, and maybe here I do make a mistake because I'm feeling very greedy. I didn't have the stability of mind to pick a target and just stick with it. So I see I did hit the Wyoming, that's excellent, but as you can see I'm getting, let's say, my attention is completely divided between these two ships, and I think that might have been a mistake. And actually this last salvo of torpedoes was literally pointless. It's at least when I shot it, like seeing it now, it seems like a pointless shot because it's far behind the ship, and I highly doubt it's not gonna hit. However, I'm very tempted to finish off the other battleship with only 5k, but with torpedoes available and this Miyogi looking rather stuck, I just think it's a golden opportunity to try and sink it. My cooldowns are looking relatively okay. I thought of, let's say, firing this salvo in a more central position so that something would eventually hit. Here, luckily, I refrained from shooting too early thanks to the cooldown system. Otherwise, I would have sunk that St. Louis. And here I'm firing also, let's say, to the back. I tried to fire in front, behind, and at the center of the Miyogi so that something would have hit. And effectively, I am rewarded by, well, first of all, hitting the Miyogi, exactly, and also by sinking the other battleship by flooding. And so that was, I was feeling much more confident here. With only 11k on this battleship, I thought I might as well fire. And when I see the destroyer behind me, I'm thinking, well, I'm done. I might as well spam my last torpedoes, because I'm completely tunnel visioning on the battleship, and I really don't have the attention to focus. But apparently I do hit the Miyogi. I'm very happy for that. I know I'm being focus fired by a cruiser behind me, so I know my time is counted. I do do this pretty big misplay in terms of my maneuvering. However, my torpedoes actually miss the. Oh no, actually they do hit and sink the other destroyer. And so here, let's say this really fast, let's say, game of rushing and torpedoing um, does come to an end. Considering the misses I've done and maybe some minor misplays, I'm partially satisfied because I did sink warships, but I think I could have done even better. And well, that's for my next gameplays to tell. However, I do hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any recommendations, please let them know.